Our top focus is on investigations into the Sunanda Pushkar death case as the Delhi police gets ready to quiz Shashi Tharoor once again. Headline today accesses his statement given to the police on the 17th of January last year after his wife's death. In his statement to the Delhi police, Shashi Tharoor had admitted that he had an argument with Sunanda Pushkar but claims they had managed to resolve their differences and that she was calm and happy. Tharoor had told the police that Sunanda hadn't eaten for 2 days and that he fed her cream and mushroom soup on the 16th of January 2014 around lunchtime. In his statement, Tharoor said that when he reached the hotel suite after work, he went to check on Sunanda only to discover that her body was unnaturally still and had turned cold. Former Union Minister Shashi Tharoor is likely to be questioned by the Delhi police after his return from Kerala. Sources have told headlines today that an exhaustive questionnaire is being prepared for him and that he may have to answer some uncomfortable questions. Atir Khan with this story.
In the light of the fresh revelations that have led the Delhi police to file a murder case in the Sunanda Pushkar death mystery, the question of her husband Shashi Tharoor being questioned is not if, but when. The Delhi police believe that the Congress MP could answer questions that contradict the suicide theory.
You are not going to get me to add anything more. Please ask the police any questions you want to ask, and if you all believe you know a murderer, please go and convey the details to the police.
The questions he is likely to be asked to explain are: a crescentic pattern abrasion mark on the left hand. According to the AIIMS autopsy report, her left hand had a reddish contusion mark, indicating that somebody may have bitten her hand during a scuffle. There are several other injury marks on her right arm. Shashi Tharoor will also be asked whether he had any knowledge of his wife getting into a scuffle with anybody in the recent time.
If there is any bite mark present over dorsum of the hand, a mold should have been taken by the autopsy surgeon, so that in future, if the suspect is at all found, the dental impressions of that suspect could be tallied with these impressions, which have been mentioned.
Tharoor will also be questioned about an injection mark, which is injury mark number 10 mentioned in the autopsy report. The report says this mark is a blue-colored contusion on the right hand. In this connection, the Delhi police will also ask whether she hurt her right wrist while she was admitted to the Kerala Institute of Medical Sciences a few days before her death.
Whether she was ever admitted just before the death, 3-4 days before the death, or 5-6 days before the death, in that case, it is now mandatory in every hospital for admission that an IV liner is put up over dorsum of the hand. So that mark appears to be associated with injection mark.
Besides these questions, Tharoor will also be questioned about the nature of his relationship with his wife, on whether Sunanda could have gained access to any poisonous substances, about Pakistani journalist Mehr Tarar's Twitter spat with Sunanda, the IPL angle, and about the new names which have been revealed in the questioning of a domestic health Naren Singh.
Sources say Delhi police is planning to quiz Shashi Tharoor at length. Other than his differences with Sunanda Pushkar days before her death, he will also be quizzed to find out who had bitten her and how come there were injection marks on her hands. And if Shashi Tharoor has answers to these questions, he'll go a long way in unraveling the mystery. With camera person Yogendra, Atir Khan in Delhi for Headlines Today.
And let's get in a word from our Deputy Editor Atir Khan, who's also with us live this morning. Atir, you're telling us that an exhaustive questionnaire is being prepared by the Delhi police, and sources say he will have to answer some extremely uncomfortable questions when he returns from Kerala.
Well, you see, Shashi Tharoor is an internationally known personality. He's been a former minister and he's also a sitting MP. So therefore, the police doesn't want to take any chances. It doesn't want to leave any loose ends in the investigation either. But it is framing its questions pretty well, so that all the aspects of the investigation are covered, and therefore this questionnaire is being prepared. Now it will have several questions. Some of them which we have gotten from our sources would be pertaining to the bite mark on Sunanda Pushkar's arm, right hand. The police would like to know from him that if he was aware of any such mark, whether he discovered it only after her body was discovered, or Sunanda had shared something about that mark with Shashi Tharoor, because that mark also finds mention in the autopsy report. Secondly, there is a mention of an injection mark, something, a mark which appears to be that of injection. So police would again like to know from him whether he was aware of that mark, or was it the mark which happened when she was admitted at the Kerala Institute of Medical Sciences for the intravenous medication. So that is another clarification which only perhaps he can give. Other than that, the police would also question him about his, the nature of his differences with Sunanda Pushkar. So there are various, questions which will be put forth in the questionnaire, but really these are the main things which the police would like to, clarify from him.
All right, so the police treading extremely cautiously. Atir, when is Tharoor likely to be questioned?
Well, he's expected to reach Delhi today, and after he's reached, sometime later. So far, there's no information to him. That's what we are learning from our sources. But sooner or later, the police is going to serve him a notice to cooperate with the investigation, and he'd be the best person who can give clarifications which police has, the special investigating team of the police has in this case.
Absolutely, Atir. And will Shashi Tharoor be questioned as a witness or as a possible suspect?
Well, what we are learning from our sources now is that initially the police is, of course, going to call him as a witness under section 160 of Code of Criminal Procedure. So he will be asked to join in investigation and give clarifications which are there, which the special investigating team has. Some of them are related to the autopsy report, the final report of the AIIMS medical board, and also the talk of this poison being present in her body. So these are the questions which will be put forth to him when he appears, and he's already said that he's going to cooperate with the police investigation.